Morning everyone, happy Vlogmas day 21, it's the 21st of December. I've got Ian outside in the corridor testing Christmas lights because we're just about to trim up, but I wanted to come and show you this. I've only nearly bloody finished it, haven't I? I haven't pressed this back or anything yet. Obviously a little large on me. So happy. I had such a nightmare with the collar and the lapels. I had to unpick it after I'd clipped the seam, and I'd got a 5mm seam and it was disintegrating, so I was left with no seam line. So I've had to like darn it on the outside because it was just disintegrating. But that's the only cock up. It is a little bit noticeable, but I'm not going to mention it. I'm going to see if he mentions it. Everything else is pretty bang on perfect. I took everything apart and did it sort of twice to make sure it was right. You know, every time I did it, if it wasn't perfect, I've done it again. So I'm delighted with how the sort of symmetry and the balance of the plaid overall. But I just wanted to let you know that because Ian's seen me working on it, but he doesn't know how much progress I've made, and I didn't want to like cheer out loud and go, I've done it. So I thought I'd come and tell you. Right, I'm going to take you through and we'll do some Christmas decorating. We have started doing the Christmas trimmings, and we have come across the usual traditional Christmas festive problem of none of the fairy lights working. Ian's just trying to change all the fuses, but it seems that we've got 3 sets, none of which work, which is really annoying. I swear, I buy a new set every single year, and I don't buy like bargain basement ones either. I don't know, you would expect them to last more than one usage, but anyway, the tree that I bought, I have a feeling is a little bigger than the one I bought last year for the same spot. Well, we've only been in this flat 2 years, and the place where I had it, it didn't look as imposing as this one did. So I'll show you what it looks like. Just to get it in perspective. There it is. I suppose it's not too big. Anyway, it looks like we're going to have to go to the shops and get, well, when I say we, I mean Ian is going to have to go to the shops and get some fairy lights before we can even start, which is annoying. You'll have to excuse my dishevelled appearance, by the way. I'm absolutely knackered. I'm just waking every hour in the night, and then I was awake at 6 o'clock. We've got a resident neighbour with mental health problems or learning disabilities, but he does like to go out in the middle of the night and shout. And this morning he was up at 6 o'clock shouting, and he doesn't have speech, so it's just kind of loud noises, but they were quite slightly distressing noises. I did go to look to check he was okay, and somebody else was telling him to go home, otherwise they'd call his carers or something. I mean, he lives alone, so he kind of is independent, so it's not like you could, you know, he doesn't need the police to be called or anything like that. But yeah, I'm quite tired. So Ian's gone out to not even the nearest Argos that had fairy lights, to pick up some fairy lights because we can't really decorate the tree until the lights are on. And so that's only just opened because it's only just 11:30, and because I've been up since 6, I just feel like I've been up for hours. I mean, if I'd had children, I would have struggled when they were young, because I'm rarely grumpy, but I'm really grumpy, but the only thing that makes me grumpy is no sleep. I just can't cope. So I have just got out my beautiful Merry Christmas sign, which I've had for years and years and years and years, and I absolutely love. That's a picture of me and Mum on top. That's a slow cooker that I just bought me and Ian for Christmas, but the one that Amazon helpfully left unwrapped, so it wasn't a surprise. Say morning, Betsy. She's a little bit brighter this morning. She's been leaping around the place. Anyway, I've got my other Christmas decoration up, which is from Habitat, as is this pink light, by the way. And again, I've had that for years. So yeah, it just must be some sort of thing with fairy lights that they break so easily. Anyway, I've paid for 3 years warranty on these ones. It should save me money for the next 3 years. Should save me replacing them, hopefully. After my little chat about cosmetic surgery the other day, somebody came and posted on my comments, don't you think the reason you're ill is because of all the chemicals you're pumping into yourself with your cosmetic stuff? And no, frankly, I don't think that's the reason. And if you leave comments like that on my vlog, you will be blocked, because it's a privilege when vloggers let you into their lives. And the reason I was talking about my cosmetic stuff is because not because I want people to pass comment on the choices I make in my life, but because I think it's important for us to be honest about these things, because I wouldn't want anyone else to judge themselves on my appearance and think that the way I look is natural, because it's far from natural. So I'm trying to be upfront here, and I know that what most of you really value about my vlogs is my honesty. So, and I'm really lucky in that I don't get very many snarky comments, and perhaps that person didn't mean to be snarky, but it felt like a bit of a comment on on the way I live my life, and that is not what I vlog for. I vlog to make connections with all the lovely people out there who I love chatting to. So there's a special kiss for you. Anyway, I'm about to start wrapping Ian's presents, and I thought maybe I'd show you what I've got for him. It's nothing interesting at all, but yeah, so I bought us both the slow cooker, because I can't remember if I said this on the footage I recorded yesterday, but God, sorry, I look so awful every time I see myself in the finder. I used to cook, and now I just don't have any spoons to cook, and if I had spoons I would rather be wongling, sewing, than cooking. So that means that we have tended to have a lot of ready meals, because Ian has never really learned how to cook. I mean, he's not an idiot in the kitchen, and he's very domesticated. He does all the housework and laundry, well, his laundry, but you know, he does all that really well, better than me. He's cleaner and tidier than me, but he's never had any interest in it. So I thought I would buy us a slow cooker so that we can take it in turns to just chop up the stuff in the morning and pop it in, and hopefully get a bit more fresh food into our lives, a few more vegetables and less processed stuff, and hopefully save a bit of money as well. So that was one Christmas present. If Amazon had put it in a box, but so the other stuff I've got him is mainly little bits and bobs clothes wise for the gym, because he's only started going to the gym in the last couple of years, and he doesn't have a lot of gym clothes, and I know he'd rather be spending his money on kind of, like, he likes buying band t-shirts and stuff like that. He doesn't really want to be buying gym clothes, so I thought I'd buy him a couple of those sorts of things. So I'll show you what I got him. Here we go. I bought him 3 pairs of socks from H&M, because he loves a bright sock, and he's got a lot like that, but they tickled me. I like those. A big chocolate letter I for Ian. A book of slow cooker recipes. Cuddly toy. A case for, he likes writing with nice pens, and last time he was in Scotland, he left his pencil case with his nice pen somewhere, so he's replaced those, and I said I would buy those for him, but I couldn't choose them for him because he's very particular about what he wants. And then I just bought him a gym hoodie, which I actually think is really nice as a kind of regular hoodie with that pocket there, and a little teal beanie, because he doesn't have a beanie in that colour, and he does like a beanie hat when it's very cold outside. And then these are sort of gym t-shirts, but they're made of like 2 types of fabrics. I think one of them's supposed to be like a wicking fabric, And there's one in grey, and then the other one is in this mustard marl, and he looks really good in mustard, so I thought that would be good. So yeah, I don't get time to sew as much as I would like to for him. Well, who gets enough time to sew, full stop? But you know, this coat has obviously taken a long time. So yeah, I've just bought him a few bits and bobs. I do try and focus on, maybe they're a bit boring, but I try and focus on things that we need rather than tat, because, you know, of the kind of stuff going to landfill aspect of things. So right, I'm going to wrap them up now. Right, I'm super pleased that's done because I hate wrapping presents. So Ian's little haul is all ready to go under the tree when we get trimmed up later on. Have you ever used these? I'm not really into sort of stationary gadgets, but these are an absolute lifesaver when you're wrapping stuff. You just get little refills for them, and they do work out quite expensive, but then again, you don't really waste any sellotape when you're using them, but it's more that they're just so easy. Anyway, that's my top tip for the day. I'm going to go and have a lie down. Get ready for the cutest Christmas tableau ever. Betsy's asleep on the box of patterns. She loves it. Her head tucked underneath her tail. I've got tea, a banana and 2 stroop waffle and a squish, obviously. It's a 2 stroop situation. So yeah, I'm having a cup of tea and a snackette in bed, and I've got a massive great pile, oh there we are, got a massive great pile of birders to look through. This is a complete pipe dream, but somebody on Instagram, a lady called Dressed in Dutch, who has some lovely clothes, makes some lovely things, used a grey patterned velour fabric to make a dress with gathers in, and it looked so nice. And it just so happens I've got very similar fabric in electric blue, and I thought to myself that would make an amazing Christmas dress. And obviously I haven't made myself a Christmas dress this year, so it's pie in the sky because I won't get time to make a Christmas dress, but I'm idly shopping for a Christmas dress pattern. I did find this one, that one with the amazing ruffled collar and tiered frills and ruffles on here, but it's got 2 versions of it, and one's made in like a Swiss dot fabric and one's made in chiffon, so I would have to alter the pattern quite significantly to make it in a stretch velvet. It would be okay, I would be able to ditch the fastenings, but the fastenings are in a weird place. I think it's like a side zip or something, so it would mean a bit of work, but I think that style would be perfect for it. That's the line drawing there. I'd have to test the velvet and see what it was like when I sheared it, but I think it would be good. It's not too thick. I mean, it looks quite a simple construction. I'm just not sure about this pattern piece for the neck thing. It is 3:05. I've had my nap. I'm feeling fresh as a daisy, and decorating is going to get done. We're going to be listening to Oliver, but because of YouTube's very stringent copyright laws, you will be listening to generic Christmas music. Enjoy. Well, that didn't take long at all, and now we're going to put it in situ, and then Ian is going to put the tree topper on, which is a very treasured possession. It's a little caricature of me made by my friend Sazzle a few years back. Where is it? It's here. Here she is. And that's Betsy in my hair. We used to joke, because I used to have my hair in a beehive all the time, and we used to joke that when I went off and had adventures, I'd carry Betsy around with me in my hair, so she's very treasured, so she goes at the top of the tree. So Ian is now going to carry the tree into position, and then he's going to put my tree topper on. Here's the Christmas tree now it's dark outside. Looks lovely, doesn't it? When I used to have my old house, I used to change the colour scheme of my tree every year, and I used to have the whole house decorated, and I used to go to great lengths. I used to sort of put baubles in the lampshades and do loads of stuff, but I mean, I used to have a really big house, but I was terribly lonely. I was all on my own. It was after my mum died. For about 5 years I just kind of bounced around in there, and it's much better being in a small flat with someone that you care about than being in a massive house on your own. Anyway, you may notice that I've straightened my fringe and I am actually dressed for once. This is, I'll show it you in case you've not seen it before. It's just a little smock, but it's a Butterick blouse that I made the top part of, cut it off at kind of empire waist, and then added a gathered skirt on. And this was just the 12 fabric. This is just some kind of poly jersey. The fabric, the pattern is actually to be made in a woven, but I made it in a jersey just for the hell of it, because I'm that kind of a rock and roll rebel risk taker, and it works really well. And to be honest, it's just so super comfy, and it looks probably quite dressy if you wore it with, you know, earrings and makeup and stuff, but actually it's really comfy for slobbing around the house in. Actually would be a really good contender for another Christmas dress, actually, because I've got the pattern all traced out already. So that's a thought, innit? Yeah, I might go and see if I've got enough of that fabric for it, the blue velvet fabric. In fact, do you want to see it? Of course you want to see it. There we go. Pretty, isn't it? You can see it's quite sheer. I think it'd be fine with the slip underneath, but I think that it's not too heavy, so it will actually gather well. And I think it would make a nice sort of Christmassy dress, maybe. Anyway, I'm not going to get time to make it, so yeah, pie in the sky, but I might make it after Christmas just because I want to. So I had a shower after I spoke to you last and felt sort of pretty motivated, but then all of a sudden got really ill. I wish I knew what the hell these fits are. Originally, my brother's a type 1 diabetic, so I know what hypoglycemia is like, and originally when I started with them I thought it was hypoglycemia because feeling very weak and shaky, I just assumed that was the most likely thing. But the GP gave me a home blood sugar monitor, and I monitored my blood sugar for a fortnight, and there was nothing out of the ordinary there. And then they did, I can't remember the name of the test, but there's a blood test you can do that tests your blood sugar level over a long period, so it can see if your blood sugar's consistently high or low or whatever. And there was nothing wrong, so we've ruled that out. But they come on very quickly. They vary from just feeling a bit tired to feeling completely wiped out like I did then. Ian had to bring me something to eat. I could barely raise my arms to eat it, and you know, I just wanted to go to sleep. And sometimes when these happen, I do just go to sleep. Sometimes they've been so bad that I've not actually been able to speak, and that's been quite scary. It's been like I have the thought in my head, but I'm unable to transmit the thought to my mouth. It's not a stroke. We've been through all that, been tested for stroke, been to the hospital during one of these fits, so I've had everything done. Because it did sound like a TIA, which is like a mini stroke. So it happens, and it's quite severe, and I'm absolutely wiped out. And it's possible that it's a migraine type thing. We've had all the blood, so we've had stuff like lupus ruled out. immune system things. Obviously had biggies like brain tumours and MS ruled out now because I've had an MRI and that's come back clear. Like, all these things are happening to me and I've got nobody saying, well, that doesn't sound right. I mean, this extreme exhaustion. Last year when I was doing a college course, I was doing two hours at college, and I was having to get a taxi home from my college, which is a mile and a half away from my house, because I was so exhausted after 2 hours of sitting in a classroom. I mean, I'm not particularly fit, but you know, I'm not carrying a lot of extra weight. I don't smoke, I don't drink. There aren't any of these kind of indicators that would make you kind of struggle with these sorts of things. So anyway, I'm waffling, but I know people keep on messaging me and saying, could it be this, could it be that? And the vast majority of things we have already ruled out, but feel free to, if you're watching this thinking, well, this sounds like X, Y, then please suggest it. I mean, I think the most likely thing is I've already had a neurologist look at me and he diagnosed something called central sensitivity syndrome. And it seems to be the new fad thing that's followed on from fibromyalgia. And, you know, we had chronic fatigue and fibromyalgia. And this is basically that your parts of your brain are overreacting to very minor stimuli, so that you're having a kind of overreaction. So you're feeling every single little thing that's going on, so your mind's getting absolutely, you know, your brain's getting absolutely exhausted and it's going haywire and overreacting to everything. And it's not an illness that people can cure, it's a syndrome, and it's done really by ruling out lots of other things. So if at the end of all these, you know, seeing different specialists, we don't know what it is, I'll be left with one of these sort of cover-all diagnoses. So who knows? Anyway, it has been a productive day. I made progress on the coat this morning that I felt happier about. I've decided I need to top stitch the collar and the lapels. But other exciting news is I've not actually had time to tell you because all this happened while I was having my little break from Vlogmas. But I've started seeing a hypnotherapist. So after I stopped vlogging, I was supposed to be going to a gig with Ian. We were really looking forward to it. I had the tickets for months, my favourite comedians, and I couldn't make it. And I was really upset. And I just said to Ian, right, enough's enough. I've got to try and fix this. And so I'd already looked up this person because he supposedly deals with agoraphobia. And he's fairly local, and I've been to see him twice now. The first one was just a consult, no therapy. It was just a, can we work together, getting to know you. So yeah, he seems absolutely very, very positive and full of sort of high expectations, and basically the polar opposite of my misery guts psychiatrist who thinks, you know, get back in your hole sort of thing. So long as you're not in casualty killing yourself, then, you know, you're thriving with bipolar disorder. This fella sort of said, no, you know, I've got great aspirations for you, and that you'll do really well and you'll get out of this. And so we've discussed some aims together, and it's not, there's not anything kind of, I don't know, new age about it. It's just meant to get you into an ultra relaxed state whereby you can kind of work on reprogramming your subconscious, because it's my subconscious that's stopping me doing these things. My conscious mind is saying, no, I want to do these things. My subconscious is saying, no, the flat is a magnet and you are an iron filing and you will not break free. So yeah, it made a lot of sense actually. And this guy, you know, I liked him, and so I had my first session last Monday, and it went really well, and actually had a great day that day and the day after in terms of my pain was really low. So I go again tomorrow morning. So I am going to go and have an early night, even though it's not 7 o'clock yet. But I thought about sewing just on one of my sort of easy projects that I'm working on for myself, but I'm so tired. I know I'm going to make mistakes and I do not want to go down that wongle hole. So yeah, I'm going to go and read in bed. I might actually edit this tonight in the hope that I can upload it, because tomorrow morning we've got Christmas shopping, Christmas food shopping coming between 7 and 8. No, 8 and 9. And then we immediately have to leave at 9 to get to the hypnotherapist for 10. And then, you know, I've got 2 days left to get this wool plaid baby in the bag. So I'm sorry for waffling so long. I've just talked at you for 9 minutes. Anyway, I hope that all your Christmas prep is going well if you celebrate this holiday. If you don't, I hope that you are having a nice weekend, because it's Sunday, isn't it? In this part of the world anyway. So sending you lots and lots of love from Camden, and I hope I shall speak to you very, very, very soon. I'm definitely going to film Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, so I will definitely get you in some footage of Ian opening his coat. Don't worry about that. That check is in the post, my friends. Right, see you soon. Mwah. Bye. Mummy, I'm hungry. Can I have some dinner, Mummy?